What up, everybody? What's going on, y'all? Ooh, I'm hoping that this time the stream will work in our favor today. If not, you guys know that we will just have to figure it out, okay? Shit, it's been a long day, but you guys have been requesting this video from me, so I decided to get it on out of the way now and move on because I've been talking about this Wendy Williams stuff since the beginning. So it would only be right for me to give my opinion on this topic. So, welcome to everybody here. We're going to make this. This probably won't be like a lengthy live, but it should be a good one. Um, can you guys hear me? Am I okay? Like, I'm not like, I want to make sure everybody can hear me before we get started. Is everything working properly? Because I would hate to have to get started and have to restart this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have to do that. So I want to make sure everything is going good. Moderators, are we good? Okay, so we're good. All right, let's talk about it. All right, so shout out to everybody here. Welcome. Hello.
Hello, motherfucker.
All right, so I don't really know where to start with this whole thing with Wendy Williams and this guy. I'm trying to choose my words wisely because I don't want to come across like I'm victim shaming. I don't want to. I'm literally in the middle, okay, with everything. So let's first start by saying this is an interesting piece of the puzzle that has now come out. It was pretty graphic, to say the least. Um, I'll also say when I don't remember. Maybe someone sent me a video of him in his car a few months ago or a few weeks ago, and then I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I reached out to him. And he ignored it, so which was fine. I figured, maybe the story, the platform wasn't large enough, so I definitely understand that. And then I seen that he did an interview um, with Tasha K, which was interesting. We're going to talk about that in a minute. And so I also reached out to him again because I had questions that I wanted to know. Like I felt like I needed some more answers. So then I reached out to him again, and he told me that basically it would have to be if he would do it if management approved. I don't know who his manager was. I thought his manager was Kelvin, but it may now be Tasha K. Okay. So I think she might be managing him now. Um, because, he's unable to speak right now. So with that being said, I want to get into my thoughts of the interview. The interview wasn't bad. It was decent. I just felt like I was looking for more, but that's typical when you get into a Tasha K interview. You get the shit, but you're always left like, okay, what else is there? I know there's a lot of pieces that have been missing. So hopefully in this second interview, we'll get more information because to me, this first interview just seemed like a train wreck. It just seemed like he was all over the place and he was just having a lot of word vomit and she was just kind of letting him talk. She would try to get certain things out, but for the most part, she was just letting him talk for the repost value, if you will. Now, people have been asking me, what do I think of this situation? How do I think that this is a clout chase? Do I think that this is Do I think that this is was he a victim? I think something happened. I think something happened, but I definitely feel as though this was a little bit of an opportunity. And I'm not really sure what the opportunity is because for the type of talking that he did in his interview. Okay, so if you guys, because a lot of people have not seen it, so this is what happened. This guy, let me bring up the photo. Let me bring up the photo because a lot of people may not know what happened. And I'm just gonna hold on. Let me do it right here. Let me bring this up. Okay, bring this up. Okay, so this guy right here. I don't know if this is the most recent picture of him or not, but he is alleging that Kelvin Hunter fucked him in his ass. With shit in his ass. He's also alleging that Kelvin took complete advantage of him and they had a sexual relationship together. Okay. And he's now suing Kelvin Hunter because of it. Okay. So, yes, if you really want to see it, I'll be honest with you. You got to go watch the Tasha K interview. Go watch her interview, and then you will. It'll make a little more sense later. But this guy is allegedly Kelvin Hunter's boy toy. So he goes into say that, Kelvin took advantage of him. Kelvin, kind of basically raped him, would buy him stuff, just really treated him like a boy toy and didn't really treat him as an artist. This is the guy he's a singer. He sang for Wendy Williams. He sang on the Wendy Williams show. He's went viral for his Brian McKnight covers. I don't even know if that's the nigga, to be honest with you, because we didn't get to see the nigga's face in the interview. Well, we did, but we didn't because he had on glasses. So apparently, he was the side bitch to the side bitch. That was the side bitch to Wendy Williams. So he was the secret lover. Okay, so. And now, to me, he's fed the fuck up. So that's where we are. And so he went on Tasha K's, he interviewed with Tasha K, basically saying that Kelvin Hunter had a 2-inch dick. He went on to say that Kelvin shoved his penis in his ass. He went on to say that him and Kelvin Hunter sucked each other's dicks. He went on to say a lot of that stuff. Hold on, let me. I think I should change the title. Okay, so he goes on to say that,
There's money on the floor. There's money on the floor. There's money on the floor.
And apparently there's going to be a part 2 to this story that's going to drop. Now, here's what I think about the situation so far. For one, I'm not so sure of the motive, because here's the thing. If he was, I personally think that this is a calculated move. That's why I want to talk to him myself to see where exactly his mind was with this situation and what was the motive. He says that Kelvin Hunter did not start. He said he wasn't. I think he said once Kelvin noticed that he had a genitalia deformity. I don't know if that's exact words he used. But that's when Kelvin kind of wanted to have sex with him. Oh, and then this guy has a wife as well. Okay, so we'll get into her too. I'm just giving you guys the backstory before we get into it. Okay, so and he also has a wife. Okay. And I'm going to have the call in number open so you guys can call in and give your opinion. Because
There's money on the floor.
we're going to talk about
There's
this
money on the
wife
floor.
too.
There's money on the floor.
We got to talk about the wife too. Now, so he says he has something similar to a hermaphrodite, and this is what I didn't like about the Tasha K interview. Tasha K is good at what she does, but her interviews are trash to me. They're okay for a little bit of the shit show, but as far as her interview style, they're garbage because she tries to be the interviewer's friend, and she's so excited that they're sitting in the seat. She doesn't really get the good juice and the good information like you need. So she just kind of let him ramble on, and she would kind of throw stuff out there, but she was just more excited about having the exclusive, in my opinion, than she was really getting the information. It was more so, okay, I have him sitting here. When this uploads, it's gonna go viral. And then so because the both of them were more so like, yeah, we might have to do a part 2 to this because this is gonna go crazy, it's gonna go viral, blah 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 blah. But a lot of people weren't really covering the story, I think, as they thought. And there was a lot of questions unanswered, and a lot of people had a lot of questions that they wanted to get answered. Hence the reason why there's a part 2. I believe there's a part 2 because Tasha K really didn't get a lot of the shit out. Now, one of the things that was confusing to me, that when the hermaphrodite situation came up, she kind of let that roll and let people think that he was a hermaphrodite, when really this man is not a hermaphrodite. He has, what is the thing that he has? Let me see if I can read it. It's and I'm gonna butcher this name because I'm not a doctor, not a doctor by any means, but it's called hypospadias. And what that is it's a very rare conditioning where the opening of the penis is on the underside rather than the tip. So if you've seen a penis before, you know how they have the split right here? Well, his pee hole is like right here. He doesn't have a vagina and a penis. So that was the first thing, that I kind of was like, okay, well, we need to get this. We need to lay everything out so I can understand, because I still don't understand how everything took place. Now, basically, it allegedly started 2 years ago, but in 2018 is when all the sex started happening, and so the guy goes on to say he did a lot of this stuff with Kevin because he was at a low point. Now, if I were the interviewer, or if I want to know, well, what got you to that low point? Like, tell me about before Kelvin. Like, I need to know the backstory before that, because to me, this seems like a person that wanted to be a singer. They were willing to risk it all to a certain degree. A gay man. This man is gay, in my opinion, and didn't get exactly what he wanted or what he thought he should get out of the deal. And we know he probably didn't get paid. And I'm definitely not caping for Kelvin Hunter. I think Kelvin Hunter is trash. But I also feel like we got to hold this man accountable too, because some of this stuff he was willing to do. He was willing to do this stuff, okay? What happened to the first deal that he had? What happened to the first management contract? See, I want to know how you got to this low point to where you were just having sex with Wendy Williams' husband, yet you knew that he was married to Wendy, and also you knew that he was dating Sharina, and all you guys would be at the condo together. Like, some of this doesn't sound right to me. You get what I'm saying? Some of this feels like very opportunistic. Some of this feels like, I wouldn't use a scorn lover, but for a lack of a better term, let's go with scorn lover. But this is more like of a scorn side piece, or okay. Let me put it to you like this. I had a friend one time, right? And the friend of mine wanted a platform so bad. I mean, he wanted a platform so bad, and the platform just was not coming fast enough for him. It just, the views were not coming, things were not coming the way that he thought they should come. Okay? So what he did was he had a mental breakdown and went and destroyed a library, and then went to jail and made it on the news. But the thing was, he thought he was going to go viral by having a mental breakdown in this library, and it backfired on him. That's what this guy reminds me of, because he's going on this Tasha K spilling all this stuff, just a bunch of word vomit, talking about how he got fucked in his ass after he got finished shitting, and how he's married, and how him and Kevin sucked each other's dicks, and how Kevin has a 2-inch dick, this, that, and the third. But at the same time, he's not necessarily gay, he's human. I think that this man is very calculated. I think that I'm not sure if he's in it by himself. I don't know who's working with him at this point right now. I think that him and Tasha K has got something with him, and in her mind, and she's convinced him that this is going to give him a platform and do viral things, and help his case. But if I were him, what I would have done, if he was sincere, and this would have made me believe in his story a little bit more, because he really didn't need to interview with anybody, if you really want to be honest. He had the clout just because he was affiliated with Kevin Hunter and Wendy Williams, and people knew him, right? So when he initially made his video, kind of alluding to the fact that they knew that he had some information on them, if he really wanted his story to be out, and if he really felt a way, if he really felt like a victim, if he really felt like he was done wrong, he would not be shopping his story around. What he would have done was he would have just went on his Instagram story, spilled the beans, and then a more credible publication probably would have picked it up. I mean, TMZ probably would have picked it up. The Daily Mail would have picked it up. Then he would have got his big interview. Unfortunately, he's with Tasha K now. And it's no shade against her, but it doesn't matter if the video gets 1 million views. Nobody is going to pick it up and really give it any more life, because most publications don't fuck with her. So he's aligned himself with somebody that really, if you're not in, all you will be in that network. If you really wanted your story to get out, what he should have done was vented about it talked about it on Instagram. TMZ would have pulled it. They would have gave him an interview. Like, this could have been way bigger if he would have done it that way, because he didn't really need to interview with anybody to get the story out, because he already had the clout. So I feel like he messed up a little bit there, but at the same time, I feel like the reason why he did that is because he's not so upset about Kelvin, sexually abusing him. He's more upset that he didn't get paid, and he wants a career, and he's trying to figure out, how can he insert himself in this mess of Serena, Wendy, and Kelvin. Now, some people are saying Charlamagne put him up to it. Some people are saying Wendy put him up to it. Some people are saying Tasha K put him up to it. But even at the end of the day, if anybody put him up to it, it goes to show that he is a very weak-minded individual and will do anything for the fame, which means you can't blame Kelvin Hunter for taking advantage of him either, because if people put him up to this and he's going on these interviews talking and being manipulated by whomever to say these things, then, in my opinion, he knew what he was getting himself into when the alleged conversation happened between him and Kelvin, when Kelvin asked him, what are you willing to do for the fame? And obviously he wanted fame in such a way that he was willing to do something strange because the man said that he sucked Kelvin's dick. So, no, I don't care what you say. A man cannot, and this is last year. This man is 26 years old. This is not no little boy. This is not no little boy. He wanted to suck Kelvin dick. Okay, let's not do that. Let's not pretend that he was just so that he just was so broken down that he wanted that, you know, oh, I was so depressed. I just sucked his dick. No, you sucked his dick because there was a little bit of an opportunity there for you that you saw. You were willing to, if this is true, you were willing to suck dick for the fame. You were willing to get fucked for the fame because at the end of the day, why are you hanging around a man like that? You are a grown ass man that's married. Why are you around a man that's only using you sexually? And then in the interview, his thing was, well, he was at a low point in your life. See, a lot of people with mental illness or depression or that are going through things, they weaponize it. So they use it as a weapon. Oh, I sucked his dick. I let Kelvin fuck me because I was depressed or I had a mental illness. Listen, I don't buy into that anymore, and it's unfortunate, but a lot of people use their shortcomings as weapons to do stupid things. Okay, this man is just as guilty as Kelvin is. Okay, he was there going to the spas. He didn't have to go. He could have told him, listen, I'm not going to these spas because I need to make music. We can't say that he's scared of Kelvin, because if he's so scared of Kelvin, he wouldn't have just put him out on blast for the world to see, saying that Kelvin had a 2-inch dick, fucked him in his shitty ass, and they sucked each other's dick. That's not somebody who's scared of somebody to go on the internet and say all that. So I'm not buying that he was scared of Kelvin, because if he was scared of Kelvin 3-4 months ago, he should be, that Kelvin is the same Kelvin Hunter that he was in October of 2018 that he is today in April of 2019. Okay, so we gotta be real here. Some of this is some bullshit. This man is upset because he didn't get the money, or he wants more money. So, and then my other thing was, how is it that, these are just my questions. So when you were at the house, like, because I don't know how, he said he was at the condo, he fell asleep and he had just got finished using the bathroom, and then Kelvin inserted himself in him. So my thing is, why were you hanging, if you were supposed to be in the studio making music and you weren't doing it, why were you hanging around the condo so long? Because I don't think, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that he lived at the condo. I think he was just at the condo, and allegedly Sharina was always at the condo. But my thing is, why were you always at the condo but never making any music? So if a nigga, if I'm being managed by somebody and I'm supposed to be making music and this, that, and the third, 20 songs a week, I'm not falling asleep at your condo.
There's money on the floor. There's money on the floor.
I'm not falling asleep at your condo. I'm just not doing it. So we got to be real. If there was a relationship between him and Kelvin, he liked it, and he entertained it. He wanted a piece of that lifestyle. He was willing to get fucked and do the sucking for the fame. And the issue is, the fame never came. The fame never came. The fame never came. Here's the thing. I can't trust a man who's going to speak out but have sunglasses on. You're gonna, like, he's in an interview and then talking to the camera like this, as if he's going to, speak out, and, he even tried to give an energy like, I'm telling the truth. But take your glasses off and have the conversation. Let's really talk about it, and let's elaborate. Let's break it down. Let's talk about this low point that you were at. Let's talk about this management deal or this record deal that you had before, but that you got out of. Why? How did you get to your lowest point? You went viral, you've done this, you've done that. Were you at your lowest point because the music didn't happen? So you got desperate for the fame, and then you found an opportunity in Kelvin, and so you are, as a gay man, you were in it for the thrill of it all, and now you're pissed. So you're speaking out. So my question is, I wonder where he thinks he's going to go from here. He says he's a wedding singer and he flies out. That's great. But to me, a person doing all this speaking out doesn't just want to be your local wedding singer. I think that he would want to be some type of star. Unfortunately, I don't think that any celebrity is coming from this. You will never be a star because of this. And it's not because he's speaking out, he would never be a star, but it's the way that he did it. It was just so, like, it was almost irrational and emotional, and like it seems like he's mad versus victimized. He seems like, you know what? You want to play with me? I'll just start telling your secrets. And at this point, I mean, it's his word versus Kelvin. Kelvin is the most hated man in the country right now, next to Donald Trump. So who's really going to feel bad for Kelvin? Who's not going to, who wouldn't take this story? Who wouldn't run with this? It's information. But at the same time, the girl, let's talk about this wife. I don't believe that's his wife. And this is what the issue that I had with the interview, because why didn't we get a timeline? Like, my thing is this, I'm with the backstory. That's how I could figure out. Like, I'd like to know in my mind, even though when you're doing an interview, you're supposed to kind of, be neutral, which is fine. But in my mind, I'm still wanting to know kind of what's going on. We didn't get any backstory on the girlfriend. The only backstory that we got was the girlfriend said that they were friends first, and then they just got married in December. So my thing is this, how long were you guys together before you got married? Because clearly you were allowing him to get fucked. And my thing is this, it sounds like this is one of his BFFs. He was like, girl, I'm fucking with Wendy Williams' husband, bitch. I'm finna get in. Listen, I'm a gay guy. I know how this goes. I have a lot of gay friends. He like, bitch, I'm finna go fuck around with Wendy Williams' husband, bitch. I got a nice voice. He's into me. It's a lot going on. And she like, well, bitch, I'm gonna do it too. But I mean, I'm gonna be by your side. That's probably his BFF. She looked like she was way too unfazed by the shit that he was saying. Even me as a gay man, I don't care about Kelvin fucking you with shit in your ass. Like, why did he even have to mention the part that he just finished taking a shit? Like, where does that have to do with you? Why can't you just say that he forcefully had sex with you? You get what I'm saying? So I just feel like the wife, that's not real. That's not real. She was sitting up there. She was more focused on eating grapes than she was focused on the fact that, her man had been through all of that. You know what I mean? And then she had never met. So, and my other thing is, if you guys had just got married in December, why he never take you around Kelvin? Why would he never take you around Kelvin? Why have you never met? You only knew what he told you. And then in the beginning, he didn't tell you everything. So he was living a double life anyway. Or, girl, you was with it and you just went on that show and you lied as well. Because you looking for a come up too, bitch. But I'm trying to figure out, what is the come up? Like, what is the end goal for this? Because at the end of the day, as much as this story is juicy, he's not really spilling any tea on Wendy. Wendy is the major celebrity. And as this divorce goes, there's going to be so much information that comes out about Kelvin that this story is going to get washed because nobody is going to care because they're already divorced, which also leads me to thinking, This shit was strategically planned. This dude has been talking about Wendy Williams. I mean, having information on Kelvin. Okay. Well, he alluded to having information on Kelvin and Wendy in his video. But the issue is, why are you just speaking out now after the divorce? You feel what I'm saying? And now it's like, oh, I don't have an issue with Wendy. Now once the divorce got announced, now he's speaking out. So the timing, to me, I just feel like this is very calculated. I feel like he was shopping his story around and waiting for the time to actually tell the story. So I'm not sure. I'm not all the way sold on this guy. And then the interviewer, and it's no shade to her. I know a lot of people like to say that I'm shading her, but the interviewer, to me, I know what the interviewer will do to go viral. So I wouldn't be surprised if they've calculated some of this stuff and planned some of this stuff to go viral. Okay. So that's why. Now, had it been, and see, this is what I'm saying, it didn't even have to be me. It could have been with anybody else, but had it been with a more credible source or a source that people thought would be more credible, maybe more people would be susceptible to believe it, because the interviewer, we know, will go to any lengths to go viral. And if that means pay, if that means lie, if that means Photoshop, then that will get done. But I would like to know, these are just questions that I want to ask. Like, at what point did you have a conversation about your penis malfunction, or so when did the guys get together and say, hey, I have an extra opening on my penis? Like, when did the penis conversation happen? Also, why, if he isn't gay, why was there so much focus on the 2-inch, like calling out the 2-inch dick? My thing is this: if I felt like I was sexually assaulted by a nigga and I'm straight, I don't really care how big the dick is, and I'm not, and really the smaller the better for me. I'm not over here talking about how the man, had a little dick if I'm not really in the dick. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like, yeah, and he had a small ass dick. Well, I don't think that should. I mean, I get it. He was saying that because he couldn't please Wendy, allegedly. But I feel like he was a little focused on the man's cock, if you ask me. But it's like, well, why? You know what I mean? Like, what was the focus? And see, I didn't want to jump to conclusions. That's why I wanted to ask for myself. But at this point, I've given up on that. So now I just have to go with what I think. Shit. That's why I wanted to ask him, so I could get some clarification. Like, why were you focused on his penis? And obviously the 2 inches wasn't that bad because you've had sex with him multiple times and you stuck around multiple times. So that's my thing. So let's not pretend like you are a grown ass man, and at this time you're apparently in a relationship with a woman on your way to get married, because clearly you're engaged, because if you got married in December and this all happened around October, November, I mean, you were still with this woman, so you know right from wrong, you know what you're doing. You're not too fucked up in the head, and you're not a little boy. So my thing is, you kept going back to it. So there was something there that he liked. So I guess my biggest question is, what is the bottom line? Is it the money? Is it the career? Or are your feelings hurt because you are not or nobody's talking about you? Like, you're not in the middle. You're not getting the Lamborghini. You're not getting the Ferrari. You don't have Wendy money. You're not getting what Sharina gets. You don't have a baby. You don't get the Chanel bags. You were just the secret. And a lot of times that's what happens to gay men. They go around and they start sleeping around with these married men and things like that. And they get upset when they're treated like a fetish. Well, this is what I tell my gay boys all the time. Stop putting yourself in those situations to be a fetish. I tell my gay boys and the transgenders this. Any man that's going to have a girlfriend and a wife and a girlfriend and sleeping with you, you definitely are going to get the shit end of the stick. No pun intended. But you get what I'm saying? Like, you're definitely not, he's not going to I don't know. Like, I just feel like I'm trying to figure out what is the end goal. What's the end goal? Like, what do you? I just feel like I didn't get that. It's not clear to me what's going on. And then we're doing a part 2 interview, which is great. Hopefully, there's more information in the part 2 interview. But I'm trying to figure out: is there? Are you going to get a career after this? Do you feel? Because I hope he doesn't think that doing this is going to help him get signed. Because I mean, people do watch. People have seen that Tasha K interview. Like, that's one thing I will say. People will watch her. But these publications, what they also will do while watching her, some of them will take her story and then they'll put their name to it and they'll use it. But people watch. So with people watching, how does this help you after? Like, how does this help? I don't know. Like, I just feel like I'm not buying it all the way. I feel like he feels some type of way. Yes, I would feel some type of way about my money too, but I'm not buying that he was just so broken down mentally, and emotionally distraught. First of all, you so emotionally distraught. Why didn't your wife talk about it? Why didn't your wife talk about if that was the woman that you was marrying? Why didn't she talk you out of some shit like that? Why didn't you go to your wife? Why didn't you guys go seek counseling? Like, there's a lot of things. Where was she when you were having this breakdown? When you were so low? Why were you so low? Like, I want to know the fucking answers. Like, what made you get, as a 26-year-old man, what took you to the point where you were like, okay, I'm at a low point in my life. I'll go and suck dick and get fucked and do all this stuff by a celebrity's husband, knowing that he's married and knowing that he has a girlfriend. Like, where did you possibly think you were going to fit in? And I guess he was saying, like, okay, well, he was supposed to be an artist. Kelvin was kind of bullshitting him and taking him on these spas, this, that, and the third. Well, you didn't have to go. I mean, if here's the thing, man. I swear, like, at this day and age, it only takes two minutes to tell that when somebody's bullshitting you. Okay, now, I get it. You may have been excited, so he signed the contract. So he might have been stuck in the contract with that. I understand that part. That's perfectly logical. But my only understanding is you saying that you were tired of going to these spas and doing this, that, and the third. But you went and you were hanging out. You were at the condo. You were fraternizing. Like, I'm just like, I'm not understanding why he was steady fraternizing with Kelvin once he realized that there was no work, it was only sex. And I'm not going to keep buying that. I was at a low point in my life. Why? And that is the main thing that I want to know. Why were you at a low point? Because maybe if I understood why you were at a low point, then maybe I could understand why you allowed yourself to go through so many of these things that you did. But I don't feel like there's a lot of honesty there. Somebody said I want some grapes.
You're trash.
So and then so the, and then so when Tasha K asked him, did he like uh was he gay or bisexual? He said he's human. Listen, you're gay. Or you're bisexual. I don't think that does he look gay? Like stuff like that, that just doesn't make any sense. I really think that the dude has a little bit of a tick up there. You have to. It was like my friend that I think he had a mental breakdown because he has no career now. He may have done something strange for some change numerous times. See, if I was on there, I would have asked his ass, have you ever had sex with a man prior to this? Or is Kelvin the only man you slept with? Have you done anything with any other man in the industry before? What happened with your previous contract or your previous record deal? Like, what the fuck? Like, give us a little bit of a backstory so we can go off of, because this just looks like a bunch of clout chasing bullshit for some fucking shock value and views. Like, where's the substance to the motherfucking tea? Like where's the zhuzh? Like, I was waiting, like, okay, girl, let's critically think. Like, let's break this shit down. Like, this man is sitting here just rambling on, but he ain't saying shit but a bunch of vulgar stuff. All he's doing is spitting out a bunch of vulgarity. And people are just like, wow, 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 wow. But let's get to the root. Let's get to why he even was in that position outside of the singing, because that was weird to me too. Like, you start singing, I don't know if he ended singing, I can't remember, but it was just like, okay, have you been messing around with men? I don't know. Maybe it's me. So I would just want to know what the tea is. Okay, let's take a couple of calls, because even some of you guys, I want to know what kind of questions you had that maybe I may have missed. Because my thing is, I would have just wanted a little bit more information on his mental state, on his mental space, as to, because it would have helped me believe a little bit more, and I think it would have helped the viewers understand a little bit more why he did the things that he did. But we didn't get enough of the backstory, so a lot of us are left kind of like, okay. And then the guy is up there trying to act like he's so anti-gay, but it's like, nigga, you're gay. To me, you probably saw Kevin. You could sing. You probably saw Kelvin as like a little come up, low key little sugar daddy, whatever the case may be. And you were feeling your oats, girl, and the money didn't come right. You were giving him that booty. You were sucking his dick. And then what man? I mean, just be real. What man? And listen, I'm very big on, like, nuances and innuendos and weird shit like that. Like, I pay attention to shit like that. I gets down to the root. So I'm like, why does he keep calling himself a boy toy? What man that has been sexually abused really is comfortable just saying, yeah, I was his boy toy. I was his little boy toy. Like, what do you know about a boy toy? Like, I wouldn't even be speaking like that if it would be so uncomfortable for me to even speak and say and use such terminology while referencing myself in an uncomfortable position with another man. I would not be, even if that's what I was, I wouldn't be on, in front of a million motherfucking people talking about, yeah, I was his boy toy. He just used me like a little boy toy. That's so weird. That's so weird. That's so weird. That's so weird. That's so weird to me. That's so weird to me. That's weird to me. I don't care. That's so weird to me. That's so weird to me. I don't understand that. That's so weird to me. Like, I don't know. That's just so weird to me. Like, I'm not saying that I don't believe him, but I believe maybe something could have happened, but I don't believe that Kevin was just like taking advantage of him. I definitely believe that he was willing and he liked it until he felt like he wasn't getting as much as or enough of, if that makes sense. And then he probably, and by the way that he talked, you could tell he could probably get a little feisty. So he probably told Kelvin, and Kelvin probably cut his ass off. And so he got frustrated. And then when all this stuff started to pop off and come out, then there's the insertion. Because listen, he's only been around 2 years. So, and I'm not convinced that he knows just all the business like that either. In 2 years, I don't think you just know 10, 20 years worth of information. You just don't. They're not, I don't think that Kelvin was giving him all that information. If they was giving it up like that, then he wouldn't be talking. Other thing was there any paperwork involved? Is there any NDAs? Is there any, like I'm nosy. Was there any drugs involved? I feel like maybe him and Kelvin both was doing drugs together. Let's really talk about it. I mean, I don't know. Let me see what you guys think. Okay, the calling number is 563-999-3658. Okay, let me take this caller. Private caller, you're live on the air.
What's up, Armand?
Hey, Mishi, what's going on?
Hey, glad to see you on.
Yes. So what's the tea? What you got?
Yes, as always, you called it once again. Honestly, it sounds more like he's a glorified call guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was willing to do something strange for some change.
Mm-hmm.
He did make the decision, to give up the ass for some cash.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's been no payback, so he's living about that fact. Plus, there's still no music that we've heard from him besides he's singing other people's songs, but we've heard none of his songs. And so we don't even know, a song to associate with him besides someone else's song.
Right. But even at that, I mean, at some point you have to take the reins of your own career. But I think a piece of this that we're missing that I wish would have got tapped into is what happened with your previous management contract? Why did they stop fucking with you?
Right. Like we could probably see it, which it makes sense because, I mean, it seems like mentally, he's just not stable. Like you said, the interview was all over the place because he was kind of all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just weird how his, so-called wife was all grape ape, devouring those grapes like she never ate.
Like she never
she was
ate.
Laughing during the interview. Right.
She could have been his
today. Like
she could have been his cousin or
back to that.
On top of that, I think I've even been on his page, and but I haven't really dug too far on his page. But I went on there, and I don't think I've ever seen a picture of her. I don't think I've seen a wedding photo.
No.
I don't think I've seen any of that.
No, I think you're right. Like they're not married. I think that's just more, some of what he's saying, I do really think happened, but he's embellished this story so much.
Oh,
that
there they are.
Really
I do see pictures of her. I do see pictures of her. Sorry.
Oh,
go
do
ahead.
you? Okay. Well, maybe just now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Still, it doesn't seem like a wife. The whole time that she was so into the cheese and the grapes, literally, as he's telling his story, she was like smiling and laughing. Who does that? Even if that's, not your husband, if that's just, one of your great friends, if this is something that really happened to them, what's funny about it?
Mm-hmm.
How do you even, after the story he told, how do you even have an appetite to sit there and eat anything? You know what I mean?
And why are you not
pissed?
Why are you not livid hearing this again?
Yes.
But whole thing
was not. I mean, she was just into them grapes and that cheese. Like she did not want to be bothered. She found it funny.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was really, really weird.
It was also weird that if you are going to come on here and call yourself exposing the truth, why do you have on these glasses? Were you high?
Yeah,
Like,
that's exactly.
come on,
I
let's
know,
talk about
you know
it.
me, you know I always call it because you can't hide that. Your eyes will
No.
always show that. You can't hide it. And you see how he lifted them up real quick, not to the camera, but just to Tasha real fast and then put them right back on. And the way he was acting, I mean, you know, his behavior portrayed, you know, either he was that and inebriated, he
Yeah.
wasn't in his right mind. That you could honestly see.
And
And I mean, it's not, you know, with something like this,
go ahead.
I was going to say, with something like this happening to you, if it actually happened, you know, yeah, it could definitely be detrimental to you. But too many decisions were made where you decided that you would play into this
Right.
for it to just, you know, suddenly be, now here's the situation. Like with the divorce now being filed, has he finally realized, like, Wendy money gone now? You know what I mean? Like, you're like, never gonna get it. So,
Right.
is that what
Right.
the situation
Right.
is?
Come on, Mishi.
You know how we do. We gonna get into some things
Well,
now.
yeah, let's get into some
That's
things.
what it is.
And then my thing is this, and see, I like talking to you about stuff like this because you get it. Because people are calling me a hater on Tasha K. I'm not hating. This is what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to critique it. Listen, this is the idea for me. Don't you think it was interesting that he was using like little innuendos, like he was the boy toy, and he exaggerated the 2-inch penis, and then he talked about he got fucked with doodle in his butt, like things like that were unnecessary, especially if you're a straight man and you were violated. Like I don't think a straight man that was allegedly raped or forced into having sex is going to tell that, you know, they just got finished taking a shit. Like I don't think that nobody cares about that. Like, I don't think that's
irrelevant.
Right.
It's completely irrelevant.
Right.
And as you said, the way that he kept on, you know, making it like he was so anti, you know, homosexual, he kept pushing that narrative. But when you see the way that he's actually speaking and what he's talking about, he's, you know, girl, you really just, you know, putting yourself out there. You know what I mean? You're the one who's exposing your own self. Just speak.
And then also, and then the whole hermaphrodite thing, like he's not a hermaphrodite.
Right. Not at all. And that's what I mean. Like parts of his story are just so over the top embellished that the parts of the story that could really be true, they get, you know, they drown in all the craziness that he's got going on there, which then his credibility is shot. And that's really why the interview didn't go too far, because, yeah, it was shocking. Yeah, he was talking about a bunch of crazy, crazy mess. But when you sit down and actually divulge all of it, you know, it was just crazy. That's why it hasn't, you know, done as well as she thought it would.
Well, people think that this is me being shady towards her, and I'm not being shady. But like I said before, I think I think his story would have went further and would have been thought of as more of the truth had he just went on his own Instagram live and vented and did it. And I feel like all the blogs would have picked that up. The TMZs would have picked that up, and then they would have had more credibility, because now it looks like you were shopping this interview around. I mean, your story around, because he already made a post alluding to having information. But if you were so frustrated and hurt and you wanted a message to really get out there, you wouldn't be shopping your story, because you already have credibility. You've already been seen on Wendy Williams. You've already been seen singing to her. Everybody knows you were signed to Kevin. People know that you can sing. So he already had a name and credibility for himself. All he needed to do was take to his platform and give his emotional, real, raw story. And that shit would have made headline breaking news all over.
Right. So that's why when you said, you know, who is actually leading him to do what he's doing? Because it makes no sense. And it has to be someone, because it makes no sense. And if you end up following who would benefit from it the most, well, there you go.
Right.
Or who thought they would benefit from it. You know what I mean? Because it was a wild interview, but like I said, it's only wild when you're first listening to it. But as you actually sit back and break down what you heard, then it just becomes, you know, a bit crazy.
Well, I think the issue is Here, never mind. I was gonna do that, but somebody said they're gonna think I'm dragging, so I'm not gonna drag it. But you're right. I definitely think that you're right. No, I have to tell you this story. Somebody said because somebody said it's like this. Here's the thing. Somebody said Tasha K is kind of like the car accident that causes rubbernecking, and I didn't know what that meant. And they were just like, when you're in the car and you're driving and you see the accident, like it's a lot of traffic, but people are just
Okay.
there, just stopping just to see the wreck. But there's really
To
no
see.
substance.
Yep.
Yeah, they just want to see the wreck, but there's really nothing there. And so that's what that interview was too. It was just a wreck in a sense to where he was just spitting out dick, ass, shit, butt, getting fucked, gay. But there was like, okay, so like, where did this stem from? Where do you think he fucked me in my
Right.
ass? Gay. I sucked his dick. 2 inches of dick. Dry pussy. Like it was just like a bunch of like shock words. And I'm like, okay.
Exactly, where you're just like, what? And then when you try to actually see, where is this going? And then the weirdness with, his supposed significant other sitting there, just, straight grape ape. Like them grapes was just, even Tasha K had said, you really, you like them grapes. It was weird as hell. The whole span of it. And then, the parts of it, she's giggling as she eats the grapes and the cheese.
Well, this
it
is
was
what
just very strange.
And then this the last part, Michelle. I'm gonna let you go. But and this is another reason why I felt like I'm not too sure about this dude's motives, because Tasha K posted that they had just finished wrapping up part two, which I think part two is because she wants to get more questions answered, because she was getting a lot of critiques that she didn't ask a lot of the right questions. Why people are saying that I'm hating on her, but this is the reason why she's doing a part two. But she says
Exactly.
she said we're working, winos. We got a movement to build with AVEON vibes. So, and then when I reached out to him, he was like, when management approves him to do an interview, that was today. So he was with Tasha K. So I'm like, is she and her and is her husband managing him at this point? What is the movement that they're building? You get what I'm saying? So
Right.
is he yet again getting fucked in the ass with no lube, but just in a different way?
Okay.
I mean, let's talk about it.
There you go. That's why
Let's
I said
talk about it.
who is going to benefit the most?
Who's benefiting? And that's
And
what I'm
who
saying.
thinks they are?
Right.
Yes.
Everybody.
Like I said, you always call it. You always get it.
Thank you.
You always get it. Because where are the benefits? Who would benefit? Who thinks they're going to benefit the most from this?
Who benefits the most?
And no, you're not hating.
No.
You don't ever hate. You don't have to hate because you do this shit and you do it well. Okay? But if it was really all that, we wouldn't need a two interview. Okay? We'd have had that in one. One was so damn crazy and off the wall that we need two just to actually realize, what the hell are you talking about?
Right.
Okay? Let them know, Armand. You know.
All right. Thank you, Mishi.
You know how you do.
Bye.
Definitely love you. Bye-bye.
All right. 609-8244. You're live on the air.
Armand, hey baby.
Hey, boo. What's going on?
Okay. I'm going to give you a quick rundown. In my head, this is how this whole scenario played out.
Okay.
I believe that he did sign a contract with him, but I believe they had some type of secret, let's say, sexual arrangement. I believe that Kelvin was taking care of Boy, but later on down the line, when all Kelvin's attention started going to Sharina and he stopped taking care of the boy started feeling some type of way. Then when that happened, I believe earlier down the line, I believe Wendy knew about this a while ago.
Okay.
Wendy only protected Kelvin because that was still her husband at the time.
Okay.
Now that Wendy and Kelvin are going through it, Wendy's basically like, fuck it. I don't give a fuck. I'm done with him. I might as well trash his name, have whoever trash his name, let the next bitch deal with him. I believe Boy secretly now is on Wendy's payroll. Wendy's taking care of him now, being that Kelvin stopped taking care of him. Wendy basically took him under her wing, and he basically, in a way, doing Wendy's dirty work secretly. You get what I'm saying?
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Trying to ruin his and Sharina's.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So let's just say, although I don't think that's all the way it, but let's go with that theory, right? Let's go with that's exactly right. Again, like we've been saying, who's benefiting from this? And again, so is he getting fucked in the ass from somebody else? Now is Wendy
No,
doing the fucking in the
no.
ass? Because if he's doing Wendy's dirty work, how does he
At the end of the
benefit?
day, it's him benefiting because Kelvin Ben stopped taking care of him. This is why he's angry now. So if Wendy, let's say Wendy secretly is dropping him a little bit of change here and there to basically now get this story up and running, basically drag Kelvin's name, something's better than nothing. Kelvin Ben cut him off. Ben stopped taking care of him. So of course he's gonna go ahead and do what he got to do to throw a little dirt on Kelvin's name, kind of ruin whatever he got going on now, basically, because if you paid attention during the interview, he trashed Kelvin's name, right? He put so much dirt out there on him, but throughout the whole interview, he upheld respect for Wendy. Why was that? If he really wanted 100% clout, he would have shitted on Wendy's name too. That's what really would have got him the clout. He did not speak negatively about Wendy
And
throughout
he
that
said
whole
he didn't want to
interview. It
ruin
was just
anything.
shitting on Kelvin.
Yes.
Exactly.
But my point is this. But my point is this. Now that I agree. But my point is this. Isn't the man supposed to be a singer? So not trying to survive off of like socializing with celebrities, like ain't he supposed to be an artist?
But
like, isn't that how this whole thing
really
started?
Dig into his background, if somebody really dig into Boy's background and come up with some dirt, I believe more. Mark my words. Later on we're gonna talk about this. More is gonna come out. This is just the beginning of this shit. If anyone digs deeper into this dude AVEON's past, trust me, some dirt will come up about the boy. Whether he was selling dick, whatever the fuck he was doing, he's not just a singer. You can tell that right off. I don't want to say he's a con man, but he's too smooth with his shit to the point where you can't even believe. You know what I'm saying? You believe like what 20% of the shit he's saying. He's too smooth. So he knows what he's doing. He's a hustler with words.
But so then that goes to my point for the whole interview. So then at the end of the day, nobody should feel bad for you because that deal with Kelvin just went awry. So now you just trying to work on your next deal to hustle up some money because you have no career. I mean, it's essentially you're a struggling artist at this point.
He's being a sourpuss. He's being a sourpuss. He's being an angry cat. At the end of the day, Kelvin ain't paying him no mind. Sharina got all his attention. You know what I'm saying? He basically gonna drown. This is his only way of staying afloat. Throwing Kelvin's name in the mix so that he could gain a little bit of shine off Kelvin's name. That's the only way. Either way, if he don't do that, he just going to disappear into the smoke. You get what I'm saying? We wouldn't know who the fuck he was if he didn't come out with this story. We would have never heard about dude. Never.
Right.
So this is the only way for him to stay relevant.
Right.
Like the only way.
Right.
And then again, why didn't he mention Wendy's name? There's a reason why he's protecting Wendy through all this shit. Think about it.
But at the end of the day,
he could have easily trashed Wendy's name. They got more notoriety from trashing Wendy's name over Kelvin. You know, at least mentioning her name in the bullshit. He didn't even mention her name. He tried to dance around her name when it was mentioned. So it's reasoning behind that. To me, I don't know. Maybe I'm reading into it too deep, but that's just me. In my head, that's the way it's played out. Like I said, remember me saying this shit. This is just the beginning. A lot more shit is gonna come out. This is just the beginning. And I do believe all this shit was brought to Wendy's attention a while ago, but she basically brushed it off or try to protect Kelvin because it was her husband. Now that they done with, she don't give a fuck. Like, fuck it, let this shit come out. Let his name get drug in the dirt. That's Sharina man now. That's not, I don't got to worry about that shit. So
all right, thank you, Carla.
She trying to ruin his life. All right, good night, baby.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Listen, I don't think that Wendy has anything to do with it because I feel like Wendy is so brash. Like she would never associate like that to me, especially with a man like sleeping with her husband. I don't think that she would go for that. I don't think that she. Now, I'm not opposed to the idea that she is probably sliding him a little change now. But it goes back to my original point of this dude not having much credibility because now it just looks like he's doing anything just to, first of all, just to maintain some sort of relevancy that really wasn't much. And for money. Like for money. Like, because if I was truly an artist and I really wanted to be an artist, nobody would be able to buy me. Not Kelvin, not Wendy. So Kelvin, you can't buy me as your boy toy, and Wendy would not be able to buy me as her fucking exposer of her ex-husband. Because at the end of the day, he's just a little pawn being maneuvered, and you have a whole wife. And why? And if his wife, what kind of wife is she to allow him to be placed in pawn in between someone else's marriage when you have a whole marriage? Like, if you're a man and you need money, nigga, you need to get out and go get a job at this point. Like, I don't think I mean, maybe I'm going a little too far with that. Maybe I probably would. I mean, at this point, I would just probably take Wendy money too if she offering it. But it just kind of goes to my point where I just feel like this nigga knows exactly what he's doing. He's not 100% a victim at all. Like, he's not just been totally taken advantage of. Him talking about he green, this, that, and the third. You're not that green. And see, that's why I wish I would have been talking to that man, because I would have asked him, that's why you need to know the backstory. Because anybody can tell you that they're depressed and they're green. And if you just you can take it for face value. But that's an easy scapegoat. I was young. I didn't know. I was depressed. Oh, okay. So you shot the person in the head because you were depressed. Oh, you went ahead and robbed the bank because you were green and young. Like, those are not excuses at 26. Those are not excuses for going to suck a man dick, and especially high profile people. Those are not excuses. But y'all not gonna believe me. Y'all gonna just say I'm hating on somebody. So damn, bitch, we've been on here for an hour. Let's get into some things. I guess we'll keep talking for a little bit longer. Hold on, I just got that one. 682-9686. You're live on the air. Hello? Yes.
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yes.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on?
I just don't, when I first watched the video, none of it made sense, like from the title, from the get-go, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it was horrible. Like, he was rambling on, like you said, talking all that profanity, but, unnecessary stuff. You didn't have to go into all those details. And I don't believe Wendy has anything to do with that. She don't know that man like that. He's sold to her once, you know? She didn't hire him to sing, to mess around or to spill the story on Kevin. She knows nothing of that man. And like you say, it's a ploy, it's a plot. He's trying to get in, get some money. But apparently he was working for Kelvin or Kevin or whatever the fuck his name is. But apparently he was working for him, and I'm sorry, I can't get my thoughts together.
And he didn't get paid.
He signed to him. Yeah, that's what it is. Didn't get paid. But, this other way, if you were looking for your money, why you got to mention all this stuff? Then this one instance, you're saying you knew him for 10 years, and it's another instance, I just met him 3 years ago. None of it made sense to me.
No, it doesn't make sense to me either. And it sounds like, and listen, here's the thing. I don't doubt that he didn't get paid, because he probably didn't get paid. But he probably didn't get paid because he probably was a fucking boy toy, and he probably signed up for that.
Right.
And maybe one day in the midst of them messing around or some pillow talk, Kelvin told him that he was going to give him a career. Like, think about how many women go through this. They go sit with these men because they think they're going to get a career, and they don't end up getting a career, and then they get upset. But that's the same thing that happened to this guy. Like, you thought you were going to get a music career. Who is Kelvin gave a music career to?
Right, because he did mention, like, he was buying me things and clothes. You accepted that. You didn't have to accept no clothes. So that's your payment right there.
You accepted all of it. You accepted all of it. My whole thing is this. If you're so uncomfortable, you're this, that, and the third, and you have a whole ass wife at home, why the fuck are you going to another nigga's house, spending the night, passed out, drunk, or whatever the case may be? Why are you spending the night at this? Shouldn't you be at home with your wife? Shouldn't you be like, okay, are we working?
Right.
Are we working or not? Because I got to get home to my wife. If we're not working, I'm not going to sit up here, especially when your side bitch is here too. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you shouldn't even
Right.
want to be in that. Why are you even in the middle of
A
that?
mess.
Like, that's messy in that. Like, he's already, like, you don't, I don't even feel bad for him because you're sitting up here with the side bitch knowing that he's married to Wendy
Right.
and you sung in Wendy's
Wendy.
face and allegedly you sucked his dick and then went and sung to Wendy. So, like, you're just messy altogether. Like, you're
Too
messy.
messy, and it's ridiculous. And then the whole interview, you staring the camera down, like look the other way. Like, what was all of that? It was all horrible, and I
But
had
you
to go.
staring the
And then
camera
everybody talking about her merchandise.
but
Right.
but you staring the camera down with glasses on. Like, take the glass. Like, you're not giving
Right.
no, like, take the glasses off. And then my thing is, he didn't really want to, like, my thing is this. I just feel like this is a clout chase, and it was a clout chase. Like,
Yep.
because my thing is, if he genuinely felt a way, he would not have waited and shopped his story around. He would not have waited for Tasha K. He would have just went on his live and said what the fuck he had to say, and whoever picked it up, picked it up.
Right. He trolling hard because I think it's the new thing now to try to dig up Tasha, the woman, and try to get an interview with her and throw get a little cut because they know she's gonna push it
No.
because it's
So
something
what she
real
does
juicy,
is no. What she does is she tells them, listen, we can take this viral. What we're gonna do, because remember in the interview, no, literally in the interview, they were like they were assuming that it was just gonna do all these numbers. They were like, this is gonna go crazy, and we might have to do a part two because you're gonna get so much backlash, this, that, and the third, and
Mhm.
so they were wanting that. He was like, yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. And so that's kind of how that happened. And then she tells people like, okay, listen, give it to me so I can make it go because my platform is this and I can tell your story the right way. But
Right.
that's, you know what I mean? But that's just so that a bigger publication doesn't get it.
Uh,
But
right.
in my
I'm gonna
mind,
end it with this.
but in my mind, if a person really, and this is no shade to Tasha K, and this is literally, because I wouldn't even come to me if it was me. I wouldn't come to me. I wouldn't. No shade to Tasha K. I wouldn't even come to Tasha K if I was him. I would have did my shit on live,
Right.
and I wouldn't have came to Tasha K just for the simple fact that a lot of mainstream publications, a lot of people don't give her any credit. So yes, it will do numbers.
Right.
Tasha K gets numbers. Don't get me wrong, but
Right.
nobody that has like a large platform, like not many of those publications cite her. Like, she's always arguing with people because they don't give her credit. So my thing is this: the motherfucker can go as viral as possible, but because not many people fuck with her, nobody's gonna redo the story. Nobody's gonna talk about it. These bigger publications that you are hoping to pick it up are not gonna pick it up because they're not gonna give that hoe any credit because they don't fuck with that bitch. That's just what it is.
Right.
So if
Exactly.
you're smart, if a person is smart and they have a little clout like him, you don't go give your story to Tasha K because if you want the shit to it's going to get views. Don't get me wrong, it's going to get views, but it's going to get views in her section. Maybe the Shade Room might share it if it's good enough, but the Daily
Right.
Mail, Page Six, Radar
Right.
Online, TMZ, they're not going to go redo her story and cite her. They're not going to do it. So,
Right. And then Baby Boy, this is my last thing. I'm sorry, but Baby Boy, he messed himself over. He's not gonna get into no music. He gonna have to wait a few more 10, 15 more years. But after that, he's still gonna be singing on boats and shit. So he ain't gonna get nowhere with that.
hmm Thank you.
But thank you. Bye.
Bye. Listen, it's no shade, but if you're gonna clout chase, you gotta clout chase the right way. All that looks good is not like. Listen, I would, and it's not even because for me, I'm just saying he had a platform. He had a platform, and people already knew who he was. He didn't have to do any interview, to be honest with you. If he was really telling the truth. So that's the reason why I feel like he wasn't really telling the truth. Because most people that are really, telling the truth or they feel a way, they'll just go and say the shit and let it out. And sometimes you just need to release it. He had a platform, and if you don't think that the bloggers would have all picked that up and it would have went crazy, It would have. It's no shade to Tasha K as much as you guys think it's shade, but a lot of people, she has to have a big platform because a lot of people are not going to cite her. They're just not. Just what it is. Take it or leave it. If you get mad, you get mad. Who gives a shit? I mean, it's the reality. 248-7949. You're live on the air.
Hello, Armand.
Hey, what's going on?
Hi, sweetheart. I just wanted to say a couple things real quick.
Okay.
First of all, I don't put anything past Calvin, but the one thing that I cannot see Wendy Williams doing is having something to do with this guy giving this interview to make Calvin look bad. I can't see her doing that to her son. Mm-hmm. The baby is going through enough right now. His parents are getting a divorce. His dad is on blast every day. He has a half sibling, from his mother's enemy, basically. I can't see Wendy doing that, even if she wanted to. I can't see her doing that to her baby. Second of all, the one thing that this man never mentioned was having a lawyer. When people blow up on the internet and they become overnight sensations, one of the first things that they do is get an attorney to guide them. Because if he had an attorney, Armand, he would never have given that interview.
Right.
Especially in the detail like that. And one other thing, I have a daughter that's a psychologist, and one thing the professionals will tell you is that when someone gives too much information, unnecessary information, there are lies involved. So I think that he's scorned, and what he should have did, he basically said that Calvin raped him the first time. What he should have did, being as he's saying he was sexually assaulted, he should have took his ass to a hospital with his broke ass, got a rape kit done, and then hired a high-profile lawyer to sue Wendy and Calvin.
And that would have turned the party. That would have made the party hot.
Yes. This man, I'm telling you, babe, if he had a lawyer, his lawyer would not have advised him to do this interview. Okay, he gave too much detail. I'm telling you, I was barely able to get through the first half. I felt like I wanted to take a shower. He gave all this filthy information within the first 10 minutes of the interview.
Right.
And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. But he obviously didn't get any advice from a professional, because if he did, he wouldn't have given that interview. I personally think he has ruined his career. Because of the simple fact with the demonic things that goes on in the industry, the one thing that nobody wants, especially the major labels, is somebody that is a snitch.
That's talking.
I think he's ruined his career. His wife, there is no way that I would sit next to my husband and he gives an interview like this. She didn't have a problem with it. She was going at those grapes. Those grapes was more important than the filth that her husband, wife, or whatever was getting. Who could eat hearing him say all that? She had no problem with it. So that's like a whole nother show. She was weird in herself just to even be present while he was saying that. But I don't think Wendy, I don't know who could be paying him a little bit of change, but I guarantee you it's not a lot. And I don't think Wendy would do this just because of the fact her son is already going through enough. So he's ruined his career, in my personal opinion, but I'm not an expert. He's ruined his career. That's what I feel about it.
So I don't think that he really had a chance. Like the career is done. As far as any chance that he thought of going mainstream, any inkling of that, that's never going to happen. So he better hope. He better hope any of these weddings, anybody. He better hope he can still get hired for these weddings that he's doing, because that's it.
And you know what? I remember when Tasha K had spoke with the baby's mother, and she gave that interview about Nikki being this way and that way.
Oh, yeah. See, I didn't watch that.
Tasha K ended up, she ended up kind of like backpedaling that because she didn't want to fuck with Calvin. It's like, I don't know if her husband told her, look, you better chill out. But she ended up backpedaling kind of on that because of the person she said Calvin is. So what does she think now that he's been exposed to being bisexual or gay or whatever? So now she's doing the opposite of what she said like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, when she backpedaled on everything. And I want to know, did she pay people for those interviews? I just started watching her in the past like 3 months.
Well,
I don't know about her.
She'll tell you no. I'm not convinced that she doesn't pay. I think she'll pay. I think that she pays. I know I can tell you what she does. I can tell you what she definitely does though. I can definitely tell you what she does. She tells people, don't put your story out anywhere else. She has a platform. She can take it viral. She does that, and she also says that, don't interview with anybody else. Let's build this as an exclusive. That's why she posted today. This is why people say I'm hating on her, but this is why the credibility gets lost for me. We got a movement to build. Right. No, she posted that and tagged the man. So now what this means is she's going to exploit him until she can't monetize off of it anymore. She's going to exploit him for the views until it's done, and then she's going to throw him by the wayside. And guess what? After he's completely ruined himself and fucked over every relationship or opportunity that he's had, she's going to be done. Right. And then she's going to say it's just business. She told him, it was just an interview. She has a business to run. It's nothing personal. That's how she works.
And she's going to move on to the next victim. Mm-hmm. I do like her. I don't have a problem with her, but I don't know a whole lot about her. But I see how she rolls with these type of things, But this guy, what career he might have had.
She tried to do that to a friend of mine recently with Cardi B.
Ooh.
Yeah, but she didn't know that the girl was my friend. But she tried to do it with her. I told her, do not let that girl exploit the fuck out of you and your relationship. Yeah, she tried that shit already. Yeah, she does that.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't really know a lot about her, but I just started watching her in the past few months. I had never even really heard about her. But I just think the whole thing is just really, really messy. And in the end, the person that's going to end up hurt worse from this is going to be Wendy's son. So now he's going to be getting teased because, kids can be really cruel. He's in college, and his first year is hard enough. Now everybody's going to be calling his daddy the F word and things like that and saying his dad is gay. So I really feel sorry for him. But, we're just going to I'm just going to keep on watching because Wendy on her show today, I don't watch her a lot, but I watched her today, and she was throwing plenty of shade. Yeah. And I think Wendy is on the road to recovery. I think she's getting rid of this horrible load that she has had to deal with. And I think Wendy is going to be all right. And that's what I'm happy about.
I think Wendy's going to be fine. I think it's going to be great. I don't know about this guy. I think that Kelvin is going to ignore this. I think that they see this, but this is laughable because I feel like out of all of this, this just looks like, and I'm not saying that this is the truth, but this just looks like a clout chaser that got too close. He had a little bit of credibility, and he was itching to do something with it, and he just ran to the first person that he felt like had a big enough platform that kind of whistled and sung the right tune to him, and he gave it away, and then he went and talked too much because he is a little emotionally unstable. He does have a little bit of a mental condition because he does want to be a singer. He has went through some trauma. He does want to be successful, but he blew his fucking chances with this one.
Blew his chance. But you know what, honey? I'm going to say this and I'm going to let you go. It's 2019 is turning out to be the year of the clout chaser. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is only April, and look at all the fuckery that's going on everywhere with clout chasing. So I guess this is the year for people that do that type of thing. I'm not going to be a hater. I'm just saying. Honey, thank you for taking my call.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye. So this man somebody said he's not a clout chaser. This man wants his money. I'm sure he does want his money. He sucked good cooked it for that dollar. And he should be paid. But at the end of the day, if you really was about your money, you wouldn't, first of all, you wouldn't be, if you was really about your money like that, you would have been like Wendy. That's a bitch about her money. You see, as much as we want her to talk about it, because let me tell you something. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm being transparent. I have a job to do, right? I would interview that man. Should he be doing interviews? No. But if he's going to do them, do them. So I understand Tasha K's point. She got a job to do. I would still do the interview too. You get what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, should he do the interview? No. What he should have done was he should have came out with a tell-all book. That's how you really, and then you go and go pay the Daily Mail. You go gather your receipts and go sell your receipts to the Daily Mail or to Page 6 or to TMZ. Especially in the brink of a divorce. If you really want a motherfucking platform, you go and do some shit like that and then go land you an interview on Good Morning America and then go ahead and promote your book. Something along that. You don't just, he got too shocked and surprised because so much was going on, but he wasn't included in it. So he just inserted himself in it. And now we're going to talk about this for a couple of days. We're going to watch the second interview. And then, depending on what that's hitting for, we may talk about it for a week or two. But then we're going to move on because this divorce is going to get so messy. More things are going to come out. And at the end, about Wendy and Kevin and things like that. And Sharina. And to be honest with you, he's really not that important in the grand scheme of things. We got a whole baby to talk about. We got to know what Wendy's going to do. We got to know if Kevin is suing Wendy for $10 million. We got to know what Sharina's going to say. Because if she coming out with, notice Sharina ain't saying a motherfucking thing. She, and you notice the difference. Let's be very clear here. Let's be very motherfucking clear here. Let's be very clear. The Daily Mail, all those pictures of Sharina that have been leaked come from Sharina, Nikki. But she's getting paid for those. You get it? And she ain't going on no interview. She ain't saying nothing. I don't think the girl is stupid enough not to be planning something, but she's being strategic. She could have came out and spoke out. Yes, I'm with Kelvin. That would have went viral. Then what? She's not going to make no money off of that. She's not making any money off of that. But she is making money off of posting the picture of him and her, giving us a little bit. Well, I'm going to send this. Let me tell the Daily Mail where we're going to be at so they can take pictures of my car. And they can take pictures of me and Calvin getting into his Rolls Royce. Let me send him an old picture off of the computer of us in Miami. Like, she got paid each time for that. Come on. I wouldn't be surprised right now if that bitch is writing a book. That's why Wendy is moving the way that she moving. Everybody has to move strategically. This boy was a little fallout boy, whether Kelvin messed with him or not. He just got kind of lost in the fluff, and he's just looking for a little money because he said he was only making $1,500, $3,000 to go sing. I don't know if them bookings are coming every single day. Come on now. I don't even think the wife is working. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Come on now. I mean, but what the hell do I know? I ain't got these kind of problems, okay? 901-9328, you're live on the air.
Yes. Am I?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. First, no offense, but I don't think you're really being objective here.
Okay.
When you're reporting. And first, I'm a conspiracy theorist by nature, and I've listened to a lot of conspiracy theories on the phone, and so I have no problem with that. But I also believe, now I've done a lot of research on the Black Boule and the Illuminati. And there was a part in the interview to where he said when he first went to the massage parlor with Calvin, he got buck naked. He sat in a jacuzzi and asked him, "So what you gonna do when you get up in the in the room and they ask you what you gonna?" Yeah. So that is where Tasha K showed me she has really poor interviewing skills because she was so busy focusing on the fact that he was there to say that he had sex with
a man,
with his husband,
right?
That she wasn't getting all the details that would have made for a good interview. Forget about what he's going to say, but get those extra details. Then he came back. He said when he went back for the second time. So what she felt that when he said that, and he asked Calvin, "What you talking about?" But then but she never had him elaborate on what his response was, if there was a response.
Right.
That was her first fail for me. But then he came back and he said they went for a second time. When he went for a second time, this time they both got in the jacuzzi naked, and that's where they first had their sexual encounter. Okay, again, another failed opportunity. Let's go back. What transpired between the first time and the second time? What made you make that choice? So there was a lot of detail that she didn't get. And there was another time when he said, well, something to the fact that they had to do something that neither one of them would have wanted anybody else to know anything about. They could have something on each other. Another failed opportunity. Well, why is that? And then that is something that happens in the Illuminati and the Boule when you are inducted. That's what happens. You have to kind of do stuff to where they will have something on you to keep you silent, to keep you from talking, to keep you from going back exposing. Now, and for me, he gave me enough detail to know that the same thing that Wendy husband did to him, the same thing was done to Wendy's husband when he first made it into the business. You know that it goes down. That's just simply, in my opinion, all my research and what my conspiracy theories mind. That's what I believe that goes down. You said a lot of artists can't be brought. A lot of artists today, those mainstream artists, they are brought. They are brought and they are sold every day. That's why they come and they go like that.
But my thing is, let's talk about hold on. Let's talk about the Illuminati. So if you get inducted into the Illuminati, typically you're not crying out for money. You have a flourishing career.
You're not. And I'm not saying he was inducted into the Illuminati. No, what I'm saying that there's plenty that there did what I would call my conspiracy theories and others we call puppets.
Okay.
They're not necessarily part of the Illuminati, but they do the Illuminati business. You know, they keep the mass society controlled with their music by putting out only a certain genre of music, sex, drugs, violence, etc.
Okay.
You know, so when you're doing that, when you're that type of artist and you're willing to do those type of things, the record labels will put you on more. You hear the same songs on the radio over and over and over again. I don't know how often you listen to the Breakfast Club, but a lot of the songs they play be repeat songs over and over during the whole broadcast.
So let's talk about what you think that I didn't mention, because I'm in agreement with you at this point. Like, I think that what you're saying is right. She didn't ask those questions, but I think that was very clear that it was obviously more to it. And that's kind of what I was saying in the beginning. What's the backstory? Because he was also saying that he was green and he did the things with Kevin because he was at his lowest point. And so my thing would have been, well, what took you to your lowest point? What happened in your life that made you feel like you needed to do these things? So, like, I feel like we are on the same page.
It's true. And it's not so much as what happened in his life, but he said something to the fact that all he wanted to do was for people to hear him sing. That's what his main goal was. And a lot of those artists, when you first meet them and when they try to have the opportunity to where they're gonna finally be put on mainstream, again you go back to a lot of women that put up with a lot of things that they did because they thought they were gonna be put on, whether it was acting or singing or rapping, whatever. They did those things and then pan out, and now they're singing. Same thing happens here. It doesn't mean that when he did those things with Calvin or with Wendy's husband that he did them willingly. It doesn't mean that when he did them, he enjoyed them. He did them as a means to say, well, this is what I have to do in order to get where I want to be.
Well, that's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit.
Well,
and I don't feel bad for him.
It is.
That's like telling me. That's like somebody telling me. No, that's like telling me, Armand, if you want to be on TV, which I've been told this, that I need to put on, because I'm dark skinned, that I need to put on a wig, lipstick, and high heels, and I ain't motherfucking doing it. And I've done it before because that's what I thought I was supposed to do. And that was when I first started this shit. But once I realized that that's not, and I'm not doing it, I ain't doing it. So I will never be famous if a motherfucker think that I need to go put on a wig and lipstick and just to be funny. You know, you got a lot of people out here that do that. I'm not that. You know, you got a lot of YouTubers that put on these wigs, and now they've been putting on wigs so damn long. Now they trying to be a boy, but they can't get away from the fact that they wear wigs. I can't relate with that kind of mentality. It ain't enough fame in the world. We are human beings. Ain't no person better than the other. Ain't enough fame in the world to make me compromise myself for you. No. There's no. We're not going to normalize. Yes, we're not going to normalize that.
I agree with all of that. But just like you and I may have that type of integrity to where there are certain things that we would not do to get to a certain point in life. But we also have to acknowledge that there are a list of people waiting in line to do the things that we would turn down to do just to get what they want to get to in life. And that's a fact. If you ever go back and if you listen to some of the interviews, like let's say Kanye West, people totally dismiss him, say he's crazy, he's bipolar. He may be all those things. But if you go back and listen to some of those interviews that he was giving about how it is on that level when he's in meetings with those people, he's telling everybody how those meetings are. He's giving you a lot of facts. He's giving you a lot of meat. If you go back and you listen to what's the comedian name? The
5 seconds, Carter. 5 seconds. How you doing? 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Come on, wrap it up. Come on.
Well, go ahead.
I love you.
Done.
Thanks for calling. How you doing?
I believe him.
Oh, you believe him? Right. Thank you, baby. Bye. All right, let's keep it going. We got a lot of people on here, and I'm trying to get to as many people as possible. Okay, private caller, you're live on the air. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I was listening to you, and I didn't know that I was going to get on.
Yep.
So this is how I feel. All right. Wendy Williams is the guy that says he's Wendy Williams' a boy toy, whatever. Mm-hmm. I completely understand, and I think I totally think that he's not lying.
Okay, you believe him. That's fine.
I believe him. Yeah. So these rumors about Wendy Williams' husband having trysts with a man and transsexuals, this has been the gag in New York City for many years. So I don't think that this guy's lying at all. Mm-hmm. And I feel really bad for him. I feel like he said he was at his lowest point, and he had this relationship with Wendy Williams' husband because he believed that Wendy Williams' husband will put him on. And a lot of people need to realize that some of these men that are trying to get put on in the music industry, they will do whatever it takes. So if it means that they have to be betrayed, they'll do it, and I feel bad, for these types of men.
I don't feel bad for them. But I believe. Here's the thing. I believe that some of this is true too, because I mean, you would have to be a hell of a motherfucker to make this whole thing up. I'm not discrediting.
Exactly.
I'm not discrediting whether it's true or not. What I'm saying is, I'm discrediting the fact that he just was so not into it and so oblivious and so green and so unwilling. I'm not believing that he was just so taken advantage of. That's what I'm not believing.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing though. Like, I don't really think that he was oblivious to any of this as well. But you have to be really, really, really low if you are willing to completely like give up your whole, moral whatever to get put on to the industry. So I do kind of feel bad for him. Who I don't feel bad for is that damn wife eating them damn grapes. I want to smack her in the damn head. I want to smack her in the fucking face. Excuse my language, because she was making me so sick. Sitting there eating them damn grapes like a damn fool, like a retarded ass motherfucker.
So you couldn't take her eating those grapes.
I literally wanted to fucking smack her in the goddamn face.
But that's because that's not his wife. To me, she's what in the gay community we would call her a fag hag, which means like the straight girls that love to hang around the gays and they use the gay lingo. They're totally cool with everything. They'll even they'll really even have sex with you to have your baby. You get what I'm saying? Ooh.
But she was talking about how she loves him and she's like she just looked like a freaking retard.
But did you see the way that she carried herself? She didn't look like she did. Come on, okay. Because the next thing I don't need the videos being made. Armand is tearing down another black woman. So But did you see the way that she clearly was at one of her lowest points? You're sitting there next to a man on a national fucking big platform while he's telling you he got fucked in his ass with shit in it, and you sitting there giggling, eating grapes.
With shit in it.
With shit in it.
Giggling.
Eating grapes.
With shit in it.
Come on, bitch.
Great.
Come on.
Like a damn.
The fuck out of here.
Shit out of her. Like,
get the fuck out of here.
I could literally
get the
take
fuck
my
out
hand
of here
and smack her fucking face.
You guys are not finna like y'all. I'm not finna. We're not gonna do this shit in 29. Like, come on now. We're gonna call this bullshit.
Exactly. But I do feel bad for him, and I do understand, and let me tell you something. The rumors, Armand, you already know. The rumors have been out about Kevin, Kelvin. Okay, they have been out for years. All right, so let's not pretend that Calvin's business hasn't been out on the streets, because Mr. C of Hot 97 and Calvin have been very good friends for a very long time. They have both been known to like the transsexuals, okay, in New York City. It is very well known in
transsexuals
New York City.
Are still different from gay men, though. That's very different.
That's true, but I'm saying like it's not a far stretch for this guy. Like, people are saying, oh, they're like completely dismissing what is his name, AVEON.
Yes.
They're dismissing his story, but I'm just like, yo, like the rumors have been out about Calvin and his love for transsexuals. So is it a stretch to believe that AVEON and him have had a relationship? No, I don't think so.
Thank you, caller. We got to wrap up, but thank you for your insight. You made it hot.
Hello, motherfucker.
I love you.
Love you too. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, let's get into some things. Come on, you all. I'm trying to take, because we on here, we talking today. So, I'm trying to get on here so y'all can all I'm trying to get as many people as possible. But the lines just keep going. They just keep calling in. Okay, let's take another one. Private caller, you're live on the air. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, that's you. Yes.
Hey.
Hi.
Armand.
Yes.
I just have to tell you,
AVEON has been doing this for a long time. We
Okay.
went to nursing school together, actually.
Ooh, hold on, hold on, hold on.
2013.
Hold on. So you know him. Hold on. Everybody sit up. I don't know what you're going to say, but everybody hold tight. So you know him. So you his friend?
Up until 2 weeks ago, yes. All
Wow.
communication was cut off.
This is a motherfucking
this is
exclusive.
very-
Okay, hold on. Take your time. Relax. Hold on. Everybody relax. I want everybody to understand what the fuck you about to drop because I don't really know what you're going to say either. But see, this is what we needed. This is why this is the greatest show and we get these motherfucking lines open because we get down to the shit. Okay? All right. Now, go ahead.
Okay, so you have a lot of questions regarding his past. I can tell you it's all about the bag, basically.
Okay.
It's all about the bag. Like I said, we went to nursing school together in Macon, Georgia, 2013.
Okay.
And he was pretty much prostituting himself.
Okay, which makes sense. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So this right here is no surprise to me. Now, last summer, well, let's just say May of last year, he was actually confronted by Miss Williams because she had been investigating her husband all along. So she confronted him because word was on the street that he was going to expose him, and he's been wanting to expose him for a long time. So she asked him not to do it. You know, she's been planning this divorce for a long time. She did know that her husband, you know, was gay, well, bisexual, whatever.
Okay, so that other caller was right. So she did know.
Very much so, yes, because she's been investigating him for the longest.
Okay.
And she told that to him. Now, as far as her son goes, she's very upfront, as far as I know. As far as, you know, she had the conversation with AVEON. Her son knows everything. Wendy does not keep things from her son. So he's full aware of what his father's been doing. They don't have a good relationship. He hates his father pretty much.
Oh.
So, yeah.
And this is, oh, wait, now hold on. Now, hold on. So this is, now you know all, because you weren't there, but you and AVEON were friends, and he told you all of this.
Let me say allegedly.
Okay, allegedly.
Yes.
Allegedly.
Let's say allegedly.
Okay, so
Okay.
now was he gay in nursing school?
He was bisexual in nursing school, I would say.
Okay.
But it was more so gentlemen because they were paying him, you know.
Okay.
Now the hermaphrodite thing, I don't know anything about that. That's new to me. That's very much new to me. Yeah. Didn't know anything about him being a hermaphrodite.
Well, he's not a hermaphrodite. He has it's where his penis hole is on the shaft, and instead of the tip, the pee hole is.
But that's the thing. He never spoke of that. But you know, I guess I don't know. He never spoke of that. And what prompted Wendy to investigate, I was told through him allegedly, is that he was being bought gifts by Kevin, you know, jewelry, and it was men's jewelry.
Oh.
Yeah. And and clothes as well. And that's what I guess, you know, got her suspicious, and she just, you know, confronted him to let him know that she knew what was going on.
Did he tell you how they met? Did he tell you how they met? Did he tell you how he met Kevin?
No, if he did, I don't remember. Because what he would do was he would just network. He was always networking, you know, sending tapes here and there. So if I'm not mistaken, I think maybe he might have sent a tape to Wendy's show or something like that.
Okay.
Not really sure, but I know he had been doing that a lot while he was in nursing school. He was, you know, sending this place, that place, you know, just trying to get his stuff out there. So, yeah, and he was paid, not to, you know, release the information. So I don't doubt what he said is true, the details and stuff. But the thing is, this stuff is not going to be able to go in Wendy's book.
Right.
These are the details that are not going to be able to go in her book.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, but yeah, I know him, and yeah, it's all about the money. He'll do anything for money. So
why are you not his
trust me.
friend?
Well, that's the thing. He scammed me out of money.
Ooh,
I've been helping him.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Hold on. You can't just do that like that. Hold on, bitch. Somebody go get Tasha K and you let her know that motherfucker scamming out of money, bitch. But she probably paid him. Come on, hold on. You just don't get that shit like this. Hold the fuck on. We're about to break this shit down. Somebody go get AVEON on Instagram and tag that motherfucker, because I know he watching, because I already tagged his motherfucking ass. Ooh, so he scammed you out of money. All right, let's get into it. Are we ready to get into some motherfucking things? This is the greatest motherfucking show on the internet, bitch. Because you never know what the fuck's going on. And we don't have to motherfucking lie around here. Okay, what happened, girl?
He got 10 stacks from Tasha K, and he promised to give me 2,500 of it. Never saw it. Never saw it.
Hold on.
Allegedly.
Hold on. You said Tasha K paid him $10,000?
10 stacks, 10,000, yes, sir. And I was supposed to get 2,500. He promised me 2,500 of that money.
Oh my God! Wait a minute! Are you kidding me? Tasha K, bitch, I will call your phone right now. What, ma'am? Do you have any receipt on? Oh my God! Wait, what do you mean she paid him $10,000? Like, hold on, because I had you on mute, so they couldn't really hear what you were saying. So he scammed money from you?
Yes, he scammed money from me. For his whole trip and stuff, for going back and forth to New York, to Jersey. He was staying at the condo. Matter of fact, he was at the condo in Fort Lee, Jersey, which I think it's up for sale now. But it was on 13th Avenue. I've actually been there.
Okay. And so what did he scam? How did he scam you for money? Like, you got to give us that.
Well, I don't really want to say how he did it.
Well, girl, you can't just say all that.
I'm actually suing him for it. I'm suing him also for the money, because this is like, he owes me like $12,000.
Whoa!
Yeah, he owes
90
he's pretty
seconds.
much scammed me out of $12,000, because he could never get money out of Kelvin. It would always be gifts and everything like that. But he's been getting money from other sources. Let me say, he's still prostituting basically, and he's not giving me any of my money back. So I'm just like, I'm over it.
Why did you loan him so much money?
Because that's my friend.
60 seconds.
My friend. That was my friend, and I really, really, really genuinely wanted to see him, succeed. I really, he has a beautiful voice. Oh my goodness. I mean, no one's perfect, Armand. No one's perfect. So, I mean, he's a good person, but he's just, I don't know, he's just caught up in that life. But I know for sure, for a fact, that he would do anything for money.
Okay. So hold on, I'm trying to bring it down, because you just dropped a lot on me. And so the people are yelling out receipt. And so, because you've just made some big statements. You said, first of all, but you're
10 seconds.
You just said that Tasha K paid him $10,000. When did Tasha K pay him the $10,000?
This was about 5 or 6 months ago. They've been planning this interview, but he had to hold off on it. He had to hold off. And, Wendy asked him to hold off on it, but Tasha's been planning this for the longest.
I believe you, and the reason why I believe you, because I've been literally reaching out to this man. That's what I'm saying, for months, and he's been kind of like dodging it. So I believe it because I know that Tasha K does that. Like, don't interview with anybody else. This story is too hot. Like, don't interview with anybody else. So she probably had his ass under a contract as well. And so
now that he never said anything about a contract, but I can tell you for at least 5 or 6 months now, he's been locked in with her.
And you are suing him indefinitely.
Oh yeah, $12,000. Yeah, I am. I wish I would have recorded the conversation or something. I mean, I don't have anything really, but I mean, we can just say it's alleged.
Okay.
This stuff is gonna come out. It's, and by the way, I don't know if I should even say this.
No, say it. You need to say it.
Allegedly, Kelvin did the same thing to Charlemagne that he did to AVEON.
Okay. Wow.
They had a relationship also outside of business. Let me just say.
Okay.
Allegedly.
So what about this wife? What do you know about the wife?
That's a friend. As far as I know, that's not a wife. That's certainly not a wife. Not a wife. That's just.
Was she around in medical school? Was she around at that time, or how long has she been around?
I would say she's been around, well, off and on, because she's weird. She's very weird. But she wasn't in nursing school with us. It's one of his, I don't know, one of his friends or whatever. But she's very weird. She's, I guess you would say, bi also. So that's why she's okay with his lifestyle.
Okay, and so listen, you do realize that people are going to go try to look up this lawsuit. Is it filed?
It is. Yeah, it's been filed for 2 months now.
Oh. So if they go
it can be looked up definitely.
Oh.
Type in AVEON FALSTER, because it's not FALSTER, it's FOSTER.
Okay. Okay, and your name is going to pop up too then.
Yeah, it will, but I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter. I mean, it is what it is.
Well, you heard it here first.
Because he's cut off all communication with me, so I have nothing to lose, and I'm telling the truth. So.
And this is in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. And so people can go and look this up and find this information right now, AVEON FALSTER. And if you can go look this up and send me the receipt, they said there's a lawsuit filed for $12,000. Oh my!
It's Macon.
In Macon, Georgia. Oh, thank you. In Macon, Georgia. She's giving us where to go find it. Let's get into some things. And Tasha K, you got some explaining to do, bitch. I thought that was rule number 1. I thought you don't pay for interviews, bitch. Come on, Tasha. I thought you was better than that, bitch. You paying for interviews? Wow.
Yep.
And
so
he promised you $10,000. And he promised you $10,000.
Yeah, well, no, he promised me $2,500 from the $10,000 that he was going to get from Tasha K.
Oh.
I never saw any money.
I believe you for some reason. I don't know why, but I do. I believe you. I believe you. I believe you. I believe you.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Oh.
It's a lot.
Wait, before you go, hold on.
But, I'm gonna have to go back.
Hold on, don't leave yet. Hold on, I'm just thinking about this. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to make sure I got all the questions answered. So this happened. So Wendy knew, and he did get paid. Not to say anything. He's cut off all communication with you because he knows that he owes you. You did watch the interview. Yep. You don't know anything about the hermaphrodite. You do know that Tasha K allegedly paid him. He told you that he.
Yep.
And when did he tell you this?
He told me that she was gonna pay him about 5 or 6 months ago. Once they set it up, once they locked the interview in, he was paid.
And did she pay him in full, or you don't really know?
Or anything.
But again, why?
Well, I don't know.
And so, did you just give him a lump sum of $12,000, or?
Did I?
Yeah, like why does he owe you so much money?
No. Over a period of time, like the flights and everything, it added up to 10,000. A little bit over 10,000.
Oh wow. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, caller.
But we're having a shift change, so I'm gonna have to go back to work. But thank you.
Oh well, thank you for dropping that tea. Bye.
No problem. Bye.
Oh. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the greatest channel on YouTube. And honestly, we don't pay for shit like this. We don't have to pay for exclusives to make ourselves look like we're bigger and better and we're getting all this exclusive information. We don't have to pay. We're just authentic. And listen, y'all can run around when y'all don't believe for all you want to, but the damn lady said you can look up the damn lawsuit. It's in Macon, Georgia. It's been filed for 2 months. So if you guys want to fact check it, look up AVEON FALSTER and see if there's a lawsuit for $12,000 in there and send it to me in Macon, Georgia. And then we'll get into some things. Let's talk about it. Let's go. Woo! That's how you drop some motherfucking bombs. I'm sure these motherfuckers is sending it to that bitch now. Hey, bitch. I can't believe you paying for interviews, bitch. Can't believe you. Girl, but I guess that caller was right about Wendy Williams. They said Wendy knew. But see, the reason why I could even halfway believe this lady, because I'm telling you, I've been reaching out to this man and literally, y'all are going to make me send the damn screenshot of the fucking, y'all going to make me send the screenshot that I messaged this man. Mind you, I just unsent the message of the man that I messaged him months ago. Listen, I literally wrote him today and he was like, management has to, this is what I said. I'm going to read it to you. And right after this, Tasha K posted. I'm going to read you what I said. Because I was like, hold on, this shit do not make sense. I said, hi, I've reached out to you before, and I've recently watched your latest interview. As a member of the LGBT community, I would like to see if you would be willing to call in to my radio show and have a dialogue. Many people have reached out to me, requested that I reach out to you. He said, I would love to when management allows. I said, okay, ... I may have missed something. Are you managed by Kevin or Kelvin? He did not respond, but he opened the message. Then Tasha K went and posted her message. So, baby love. And you're right, I'm not paying. I'm not paying. And so I sent it to my boyfriend. I told him what happened, right? And I told him, I said, I think she trying, I sent him what Tasha K posted. Then he said, you can always tell when she thinks when something that she thinks is going to be big doesn't hit the way she wants it to. I said, LOL, right. So I'm going to pay it and do the video and move on. She said, yes, because she's all in his ear, obviously. And we know she pays for interviews. And I said, and Lord knows I ain't paying, LOL. And he said, yes, he does. That's what the fuck happened. Come on, bitch. We can't make this shit up like that. Drop some motherfucking bells in the comments, bitch. That hoe is trash. Ever tell me about a bitch? Don't ever tell me about another Tasha K interview. Bitch, don't ever tell me about a bunk ass Tasha K motherfucker. I don't care if that bitch posts receipts on Barack Obama sleeping with Beyonce. She paid for him, bitch. Ever tell me? The fuck out of here. I don't. Period. $10,000 5 months ago. And listen, I know that to be true because she does build stories for a while. But I can't believe AVEON, but the lady says she is filing a $12,000 lawsuit and she didn't really want to get into too much. Now, listen, I'm not really going to get into the information with Charlamagne the God and Kelvin, but people were whistling that around. Now, listen, I'm not really too sure what's going on, but I believe that there's some truth to this. But I believe that you guys are going to find out. Listen, if it becomes the lady is a fraud and she lied, well, it was some good TV, and I will eat crow and apologize. But listen, go and see if there is a lawsuit filed. Somebody please go and do that and email me. Please. Email me the lawsuit. Because we still don't know if it's true. All this is allegedly still. All this is allegedly. Even Tasha K. Penn is alleged. It's alleged. It's alleged that he owes her $12,000. All of this is alleged. I don't know any of this to be true. We don't have any hardcore receipts here, okay? But I'm glad I picked up the phone. And see, she called in from a private number. All right, let's take another call. We got one more. Private caller, you're live on the air. Last one.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on?
I'm sitting up here. Hey, I'm sitting up here listening to the show, and I think you're being pretty hard on the brother, the Foster guy.
Okay.
I see him as a victim. You know, Kevin is in a position where he can help young men.
Yes.
And I don't think it's fair that he's using his position to get his penis sucked. Why do men, in order to progress in life or to move up the ladder, they're requiring our young men to suck penis?
I don't know. That's so weird. I don't like that. That's weird.
Yeah, so I feel sorry for the dude because it's like the women that were being mistreated, the Hollywood women or whatever, that were being mistreated by these wealthy men in order to move up. What about the Me Too movement for this young man? Who's going to stand up for him? I mean, they have the Me Too movement for these white women in Hollywood. What about for these young black men who are trying to move up in the music industry? Who's going to protect them? So I feel sorry for the young dude because, he's just trying to find his way in life. And you have like a 50-year-old man. I don't know how old Kevin is, but he's about 50 years old.
42.
His pubic hairs are all gray. I mean, and he's sitting up here, sticking his penis in some 20-something-year-old guy. That's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's the blame for all of this, not this young man. Whether the young man is trying to come up or not, and who knows if that's what if he was in nursing school with this girl and he was prostituting himself, who knows? But when you got an old behind man like Calvin taking advantage of these young guys like this just to get some type of sexual gratification, that is wrong on all types of levels. Our kids can't be better if you got old men like Kevin behaving the way he's behaving.
Mm-hmm.
This kid wouldn't be out there prostituting his body or, sucking penises to get up in the world if you didn't have men like Calvin that, wanted stuff like that done. So if he was prostituting, he was probably prostituting himself out to, a bunch of older men making money. All of this is just pretty disgusting on all types of levels.
Yes, it is. I'm glad that you got there.
And if it really happened, what happened really happened. And I believe that young man. I believe he was in a sexual relationship with Calvin and that dude, and he was taking advantage of that young dude. But it's disgusting. But I don't think anyone should sit up here and just beat up on that young man because I really do believe he is a victim.
Okay. And
And
listen,
someone really needs to stand up for him.
and I think that listen, and you're valid in your opinion. That's why this show is here, and you have a right to that. And hey, I'm glad your voice was heard. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate that. I personally don't. I feel as though he knows exactly what he was doing at the same time. Okay. Oh, she just hung up. She might have been fed the fuck up. I think she probably was the wife. Well, that just about wraps it up. So listen,
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
So listen, y'all got to find that tea for me because all of this is alleged. So we'll see if there's a lawsuit. She said, or she could be lying. We don't have any receipts, but that was entertaining. Now, hopefully we find a lawsuit. If not, girl, if there ain't no lawsuit, bitch, your credibility is shot. And now I got to go apologize to Tasha K and this damn man for believing it. No, shit, I still believe her ass pay for interviews. Cause she be, cause I still believe that. But at the end of the day, I would like to see if there was a lawsuit filed. That's going to be very, very interesting. I do think that this whole thing is unfortunate. I really wish that people wouldn't have to do certain things like that. Like the lady did say before, you should just be able to get where you're going in life based off your talent and merit. But at the same time, I need people, anybody out there to that wants to be something, that wants to be, whatever it is, whether you want to move up in a position at your job or whether you want to be a star or a singer. Listen, nothing is worth sacrificing your integrity. It's not worth it because at the end of the day, we're all human. We all eat, piss, shit, and we're going to die. You get what I'm saying? So no person is better than the other. And at the end of the day, what is it to sell your soul and sell everything to gain the world, but you've sold your whole soul? You can't really enjoy it freely, but maybe you get it sooner, or in this man's case, you don't get it at all. But I would much rather do a slow and steady race and be happy than sell myself in whatever way that looks like, just for some instant fame or some money. And really, I'm dead on the inside, but I look like I'm just so happy on the outside. It's just not worth it, people. Trust me, it's not worth it. That's why so many celebrities ended up killing themselves, or just so many people with money or these high positions, they end up knocking themselves off or overdosing on pills because they've given something up on the inside just to have this lifestyle when they realize it's nothing, because they're not internally happy because they know the things that they had to do to get there. Okay, it's not worth it. Okay, it's really, 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 really not worth it. And at the end of the day, if a man is married, don't mess with no married man, especially if the married man is in the middle of a love triangle, bitch. Like, that's not no drama that you want to be in. I don't give a damn how much money the nigga got. Because at the end of the day, if the nigga's a dog enough to have a girlfriend and a wife, he's definitely a dog enough to not pay you your money. All right. So I want to shout out to everybody here. Well, we don't know, but that was some good tea. Hopefully somebody will end up finding out whether the lady's tea is true or not. But if not, if we can't find anything now, we'll just wait and see how this whole thing comes out. I'm very, 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 very interested. Maybe they'll mention this. Maybe there'll be a poll. I don't know. I thought that was interesting. So we'll see. Until next time, make sure y'all keep that same energy. Thanks for watching, and we will see you soon. Yes, God. Wow, 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 wow. Hold on, y'all, because I gotta cue the music for this. Gotta cue the music for this. Why ain't it playing? See, the music don't wanna let the music play. All right, y'all.
location.